Hey guys, Michi Mavros here, and today I'm going to talk about some positive traits of borderline personality disorder because, we hear about negativity all the time. I understand that we are the cause of a lot of it, probably most of it, but it gets so exhausting, like hearing all the time how shitty you are from people we love, from people we hate, strangers on the internet. Like, there's so many people out there who just have such a strong hatred for people with borderline personality disorder, even if we have never done anything personally to them. I just feel like, if we spend a little bit more time focusing on the positive aspects, it's going to actually help us in the end. It's not delusional at all to think that there is some good in you, and it's not going to in any way deter you from wanting to change, because yes, of course we need to change and we need to seek treatment for our BPD. But finding some aspects of yourself that you can like and you can enjoy about yourself is the only way that we can really accept ourselves and be able to move forward. Because if you're just all the time hearing how shit you are, you're gonna be like, okay, well, there's no point. There's no point in changing, because if I'm just such an awful person, like, you can't change every single thing about a person, and that person will end up feeling like there's no point. There's no point in living, and that's why a lot of people do end up, feeling like they need to take their own life, because they just think that there's no hope. There's no hope, and there's no reason that changing them will do any good. So I definitely think that trying to find some good things about yourself and some positivity, hearing about that, is definitely a good thing. And I did receive it as a request to do, and in honor of Borderline Personality Disorder Awareness Month, I found it to be fitting. So yeah, May, by the way, is Borderline Personality Disorder Awareness Month. So if you wanted to, share some of your favorite things with some people that you love and care about, maybe post about it, just kind of to raise awareness and to kind of, show people, or, like, teach people that aren't so aware of it, just to kind of like get rid of that stigma, because I find that there's still so much stigma surrounding it. So the number one thing about BPD is obviously the intensity, the passion, our love, hate, black and white. And of course, it can definitely be a bad thing. It can definitely be something that will, kind of make it hard for us to live our daily lives. But on the flip side of that, intense love and an intense passion for things can be a great thing. If we're passionate about a subject, seeing that light in someone's eyes when they're talking about something they love is such a beautiful thing. And we can obviously, if we can find a way to channel that, we can put it towards our relationships, we can put it towards our career, we can put it towards so many things. We just have to find out how we can, kind of manage those emotions and not let those negative ones affect us so much, and kind of push down the positive ones. Because, again, if we're spending so much time focused on the negative, we're not able to really, sometimes you forget kind of what makes you happy, and we need to kind of be reminded of that sometimes. So, if we can channel that passion, we can eventually maybe lead to being more creative. And I find that, not everyone with BPD, it's not like a kind of like a be-all end-all thing, but I find a lot of us are like creative, and a lot of us are so artistic, and the world needs art. Like, that's, world without art is just I didn't make that up. I heard about that when I was like, I love that. And it doesn't have to be drawing or painting. It can be acting. It can be, maybe even makeup artistry. It can be dancing. It can be anything creative, any way of expressing yourself, and art is it's so open to interpretation. And sometimes you find sorry, sometimes we can feel like, what we made is shit. No one's gonna really feel anything from that. There's no point in sharing it. But you never know what someone else out there is gonna take from your art. So putting it out there and just kind of giving it your all, and just really being able to pour yourself into something is so like therapeutic. It's so like cathartic to be able to kind of just get out some of those emotions. And I find that we are so unique, just because we have such different experiences and our brain works so differently. It obviously, again, I feel like I have to say this every single time, BPD is not always a good thing. It's usually a bad thing. But these traits can be, flipped into something positive. We can, take any bad thing that happened to us and turn it into something beautiful. I find that we also, in general, are very compassionate. There is such a bad rap with us being selfish and narcissistic and, psychopaths. I've heard that so many times, and it's not the case at all. I find, in this community and like through people that I've talked to on the internet meeting, through this channel and through support groups on Facebook, we love to help one another, and all we want to do is teach people and try to gain some understanding, and trying to help those of us that have been through something similar. And if they don't know what they're going through, I find that so many of us are just like helping each other out, like lending a helping hand, either to listen or to kind of share our stories and kind of share what works with us. There's so many different levels to BPD. Someone that could be lower functioning may need to hear from someone that's higher functioning, like, you can get through this, here's my story and this is how I got through it. I'm still going through so much, but this is kind of what has gotten me to this point, at least. And I find that if we were truly as selfish as everyone makes it out us to be, we wouldn't want to, help others out of just the kindness of our heart. There can be times, obviously, that we are selfish, but I feel like as a whole, we obviously don't want to be like this. We obviously want to be better for the people that we love, and we just want to help others as well. So that is obviously a very, very good trait to us, if we are able to kind of take our emotions and manifest it in a way that kind of makes it so that we are at a point in our lives where we are able to kind of help others without being able to drag them down. And again, our relationships can be very beautiful. We can be very unique, we can be very funny, we can be very out there. And if everyone in life was the same kind of person, it would get boring after a while, for sure. So having like that difference of opinion or difference of style, like just something unique to give to the world, I find that art is so open to interpretation, in that, it's going to be there forever. So even if someone in this lifetime hasn't really gotten anything out of it, it's going to be here. The internet is, going to have everything that we've poured into it for years and years to come. And someone may come along one day and somehow stumble upon it and be like, wow, like that was life-changing. You never know what someone else is going to take from your experiences. So I just find that that's so beautiful, and I think that everyone deserves to hear that they can and will be better, and they can give something to the world that they may feel like they don't have inside of them. If you haven't heard it in a while, you have it in you, and you just have to deal with the rest of your borderline personality disorder to be able to let the positive parts shine. But it is there. So I think that it's important to hear, and sometimes it can be easily forgotten. Sometimes it can get so lost, and sometimes you don't really know what's going on, and like this dissociation can make us feel so disconnected from everything else, and you may not even remember who you are. And I find that, like, if we just keep kind of forcing that positivity, as annoying as it sounds, eventually it is going to kind of stick, like the whole fake it till you make it. So I think that everyone has something different, of course, to give. We're not all the same. Someone with borderline personality disorder is going to be completely different from the next person. So we're obviously all going to have different positive traits, but that's just kind of what I've noticed is maybe a similar pattern. So yeah. So anyways, this was another random video. I really appreciate you guys for listening and for your continued support. Always, like, such beautiful comments, and I really want to be able to give you guys something that is going to matter, and I want to be able to kind of talk about things that aren't usually heard, especially in mental health and especially in the BPD community, because it needs to be heard, it needs to be talked about. So especially since it's BPD Awareness Month, if you guys have any video suggestions or any requests in general, just leave it down in the comments below. And thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. Thanks. Bye.